Hi everyone. Today we're talking about ways to save a lot of money, and preferably quickly. Watch the video until the end and I'm confident you'll find a method or two that's perfect for you. Plus, all the methods I'll share require minimal effort and time investment. Let's start with some interesting statistics. Some time ago, the Bureau of Economic Research, supported by the Federal Reserve Bank, conducted a rather interesting study. It turned out that people saved the most money during times of crisis. Take a look at this year-by-year graph. Peak savings align precisely with periods of economic crises. In contrast, during periods of relative stability and prosperity, people's savings didn't even keep up with inflation. But why wait for a crisis to start saving money? Let's figure out how to begin saving now so you can eventually use those savings for profitable investments. I've already talked about how even the simplest investments can make you a millionaire in one of my previous videos. And in general, having savings that act as a financial cushion is already a great support for anyone. So a simple way to save money, no matter how cliché it sounds, is to avoid unnecessary purchases. And the easiest way to avoid unnecessary purchases is to delay any purchase for 24 hours. Yes, it's that simple. Here's the idea. When you see that flashing red button saying, "Buy now, only N items left" or something similar, don't fall for this marketing trick. Just take a step back and delay the purchase for 1 day, 24 hours. There's a saying, sleep on it. And this saying perfectly captures the impulse to make purchases right away. Marketers, especially those from top corporations, know exactly how to grab your attention and design ads that make you want to buy a product or service immediately. On top of that, our brain releases dopamine, the happiness hormone, during the act of purchasing, or more accurately, the anticipation of making a purchase, even if you don't really need it. Think about it. If you really reflect on it, the anticipation of a purchase, waiting for it to arrive in the mail, is often far more exciting than actually owning the item. How many things are sitting in your closets or on your shelves right now that you were once so eagerly waiting for? But if you delay the purchase for at least 24 hours, the emotions will take a back seat and you'll be able to objectively assess whether you really need it. If after 24 hours you still want it just as much as before, then go ahead and buy it. This method works wonderfully. I use it myself regularly. Let's imagine you want to buy something, any item you have in mind. Even if you've already followed the recommendation from the first step and waited 24 hours. Now take the amount of money that the item costs, in actual cash, and place it on an imaginary scale. On one side you have the item you want, and on the other side you have the equivalent amount of money. Which would you prefer, the item or the money? Here's the thing, in the modern world, everything is designed to make us rely on intangible, electronic money as much as possible. But when you see actual cash, touch it, and hear the rustle of the bills, it becomes much harder to part with it. This has been confirmed by numerous studies. When you pay with cash in a store, your brain experiences discomfort and even a sense of loss because you're physically giving something up. When paying by card, this feeling doesn't occur because you simply swipe the card and put it back in your wallet. The fact that money was deducted, well, that's somewhere out there and you don't physically see it happening. So, always try comparing real tangible cash with the item you want to buy before making a purchase. Probably one of the most powerful methods, before buying anything, ask yourself, how many hours of my time or work is this purchase worth? Each of us earns money in some way, whether through a salary or other income. It's quite simple to calculate your hourly rate if you know your monthly income. Now, imagine a set of scales. On one side, place the cost of the item you're interested in, let's say $200. On the other side, calculate how many hours of your life you'd need to work to afford it. For example, if your hourly wage is $20, are you willing to trade 10 hours of your life for this item? This kind of comparison can often be a real eye-opener. If you haven't liked this video or hit the notification bell yet, do it right now because here comes method 4. This method is all about not keeping your money within arm's reach. Here's the idea. Open a separate account specifically for saving money. Make it difficult to access, for example, open a savings account, but put the card for it in the farthest drawer and never take it with you. You can also store your money in other currencies, for example, converting half of your savings into euros. The goal is to make quick access to your money more difficult. As a result, to make any purchase, you'd need to go through several additional steps, log into the account, exchange the currency, and so on. This not only creates a subconscious barrier, but also gives you extra time to think, do I really need this purchase? An excellent method for saving money that works well for me personally is the concept of the future value of money. What does this mean? It's easier to explain with an example. Let's say you want to make a purchase today that costs $50. How much will this money be worth in the future? For example, if you invest these $50 at a 5% annual return, the rate of a bank deposit, then in 25 years, and trust me, 25 years will pass quickly, those $50 will grow to $169. And that's just an example with $50. Now imagine if it were $500 instead. When you start thinking, I'm not buying this item for $50, but effectively for $169 in the future, it acts like a cold shower and can stop you from making impulsive purchases. Expand your financial planning horizons. Most people plan their finances for just 1 month, or even less. With such a short time frame, it's impossible to see the bigger picture of your overall financial situation, leaving you confined to very narrow financial limits. Imagine you're playing chess and only thinking 1 move ahead when placing your pieces, while your opponent is calculating 5 moves ahead, or even more. Do you think you'd win in that scenario? Now, back to finances. Do you know how much money you'll need for a month? For a year? If you start keeping a detailed record of all your income and expenses and plan your purchases, even in broad strokes, you'll create a basic financial plan. This will help you understand where you are now and where you're headed. Debt is a very dangerous thing. It's not just about spending money you haven't earned yet. The real problem is that it undermines your financial future. So starting right now, work on getting rid of your debts and avoid taking on new ones. I've already covered how to pay off debts in my video about the snowball method. These are 7 unconventional ways to save your money and as a result build up your savings. I specifically aim to avoid common advice like pay yourself first or don't buy coffee, and instead focus on unique strategies. Make sure to track your budget. It helps you understand what's really happening in your financial life. And of course, don't forget to work on increasing your income, both active and passive. The more money you earn, the more you can save, especially if you follow the 7 recommendations mentioned earlier. What methods do you use to save money? Share them in the comments below this video.